Have you been inspired to live your life in a different way that brings about more peace and freedom and joy for yourself and others? Are you having a difficult time being that in your life? I surely understand that, and that's why I'm here. Hello, I'm spiritual healer Kimberly, and I have some information to share. It's what I call God Code. It is the path of becoming the best that you can be from a spiritual perspective in order to overcome every life challenge, to overcome all of your trauma and all of your fears, so that you can bring yourself to the point of living such truth that there is no obstacle to your living a life of love. My personal experience, I will explain as validation to my research and my education. I am a survivor of childhood SA. For 9 years of my childhood, I was abused nearly daily. I have been SA'd over 3,000 times in my life by someone I trusted. And later, I had a brush with cancer, or what I thought was going to be cancer. It ended up fine, but still. My first child I had premature at 26 weeks, and he passed away after 6 weeks, never having come home from the hospital. And like many others, I've suffered through relationship challenges of familial relationships, personal relationships, career-related relationships. But the one thing that I had inside of me that helped me survive all of that and remain steadfast to my desire to continue loving in my life was my connection with the Most High Creator. And because of that, and because of the unbelievable challenges that I've been through, and I didn't mention life manipulation my entire life, involving nearly every crime against humanity that you can imagine, was also the general theme of my entire life, with it in addition to all the other things that I said. So for me, my survival was based on healing. If I did not have the capability of healing my wounds would have overcame me. Now, because of all of that, and I grew up as a Christian, a Methodist. As I got older, into my late teens and early 20s, I moved into non-denominational religion. But after having experienced so many of these challenges on a repetitious behavior, and after all of that mind-bending trauma that I went through, I had to learn how to live who I was. And I searched, and I searched, and I researched. And I found that going just a little bit beyond our understanding that we embrace in our religions, and researching and experimenting with other things, we find that there's a connection to many, many things which bring a higher level of understanding of God, of the Most High Creator, into our acknowledgement. And from that space, we have the capability of creating a world for ourselves and all of humanity that we do want. That's full of love and inspiration and hope and joy and abundance for everyone. It is the arrival at the wisdom and understanding of truth as it is according to the Most High Creator. What you see behind me is a basic knowledge that you must know, that I'm here to show you. It is the result of my many healings, all of my research, all of my experimentation, of finding the connection to how to escape untruth, how to continuously live in a space of love regardless of my circumstances, to find joy in my heart and in my life regardless of anything else, and to make decisions for myself that are beneficial first to myself and then through others, based in the foundational wisdom of who I am according to the Most High Creator. This back here, it's a wall of information, but it's simple and it's easy to understand and it's easy to grasp. I could just publicize this piece and send it out there for everyone. But right now, as we're transitioning from what was to what will be, and what will be being the new era of spirituality, where love and authenticity take center stage for the first time in history. The transitional part is our learning how to be the education that we have gained, to learn how to live as part of the new era of spirituality, where we begin a new life dance of love. So, my friends, if you would like to join me in this beautiful dance down the promenade of the new era of spirituality, to inspire and motivate and support one another in remaining steadfast in the knowledge of the Most High Creator and who we are, and we focus our attention, remembering and always moving forward in the cyclical nature in which the education has been established for our continued growth. Manifesting with the Most High Creator the future that has the sustainability that we need to foster the responsibility required for this highly technological space that we've entered, so we may direct it in the most appropriate way beneficial for all. I welcome you. I seek those at this time who would like to learn about this and then stay together so that we can manifest it as well. So if you're still on board with me and you're interested on the information that I have behind me, let's get started. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm going to have to move it from time to time because I just can't seem to get everything I need all in one space, okay? So let's go. So this is my classroom, and this is my board. And this is all of the basic foundational information that we could possibly require in its most simplistic version for us to absolutely succeed in establishing the path to and through the new era of spirituality. Okay? Now stay with me. One of the things that I found is that our understanding of who we are according to the Most High Creator is the most basic foundation starting point that we need to get going. Okay? It's like a reset. to reset our minds within the truth of who we are according to the Most High Creator and begin a foundational action in that direction. Now, spirituality has a certain energetic vibration that melds into our personal energetic vibrations by way of acceptance and understanding and wisdom about ourselves, and therefore the emotions that come from that, because emotions have the overriding energy for our bodily electric system, if you will. Okay. And by concentrating on spirituality and our personal energy frequency simultaneously, it assists us in guiding us step through the cycles of life so that we may begin to understand the educational lesson that has been provided to us through situations and relationships in our lives, so that as we experience each, we grow from that, attain the wisdom from that education, and then move into the next cycle on a positive note rather than hard stop cycling. Let me explain that here. This is a flow cycle. 1 through 10 is one cycle, and then 1 through 10 is a second cycle. This is an effortless flow of gaining understanding, applying that understanding, and then moving into the next life experience, bringing that wisdom into the next cycle with you to create the next new cycle. When we don't allow ourselves this understanding and growth in the acquiring of this spiritual wisdom, we experience hard stop cycling. And hard stop cycling looks like this. Okay? Where your 1 never reaches a 10. Your 1 is here. You might only get to 5. And there's no flow, which means you had a hard stop. And you had to pick up another cycle somewhere else, again at 1. Hard stop cycling is usually painful. It's usually chaotic. It's full of anger and resentment and fear and misgivings, hatred, feeling not good enough, judgment. Hard stop cycling never allows you to successfully complete a cycle so that you may flow without effort into the next cycle. This is what it is that we're trying to attain with the remainder of with all of this learning that I have for you. Okay, we're trying to move from this to this, not only individually but together as a humanity. Okay, now as part of the understanding about our spirituality and our personal energy vibration being together and relevant to one another, I would like to introduce you to another topical idea, which is a huge portion and is relative to absolutely every other piece of information I will provide to you. Okay? We have a chakra system. There's many, many chakras in our bodies, but God makes everything simple, and we only need to focus on 7. The very first 7, the basic 7 chakras. And they are your root chakra, and I'm pointing to their location within our body, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. Okay? When we pay attention to the purpose of these chakras, They also lead us down a spiritual journey of understanding and gaining in wisdom as part of our flow cycle. This is where two topics come together to make a completely new outcome. Okay? So let's go over the chakras. Now, I'm also here, as I said, to continue to work with everyone to keep us focused and flowing and growing, okay? And the way I'm presenting this to you is with that process in mind because, it's something that we do on a daily basis, okay? So on Mondays, we work on the root chakra. It's the very foundation of our being. It's our ability to connect ourselves into our world, into our earth, into our 3D environment, and gives us the safety and security that we need to grow from, okay? But it also is about who we are according to the Most High Creator. In addition to finding the safety and the grounding and the foundation of ourselves in this 3D world, we're also discovering our foundation, our safety, and our grounding in the understanding about who we are according to the Most High Creator. Okay? Because, see, at this level, it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what color your skin is, what your nationality is. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter what your political preference is. It doesn't matter whether you're tall or short or skinny or fat or you're homeless or if you live in a penthouse. It doesn't matter what you think about yourself, and it doesn't matter what other people think about you. Nothing matters when we take the time to acknowledge that we were all created, every last one of us, from a single Most High Creator that created absolutely everything. Everything in the universe, our earth, and the people, and the planet, and the animals, and the flowers, and the trees. There was one single creator, and that one single creator made us with the ultimate loving care so that we may experience ultimate love, joy, freedom here on planet Earth. I would call that heaven on earth. And that's what you will learn here. So on Mondays, when we're addressing the root chakra, we're addressing our foundation in the 3D, as well as our foundation within the spiritual, understanding who we are according to the Most High Creator. We are limitless beings, capable of creating absolutely anything as long as we're doing it in accordance to the Most High Creator's intention. Okay. Now, each chakra, because of its location and because of its energetic value, also has an impact upon our endocrine system and all the other organs and systems surrounding that. Okay, but for purpose of endocrine system, the root chakra affects the smooth performance of your ovaries and testes. Now, what happens is when you pull this strength of rootedness into the earth and rootedness into your understanding about who you are according to the Most High Creator, you are creating the foundational stability and strength from which to build from. This is our initial starting point on building of anything. And this is what begins the process of opening up to the path of love, to the new era of spirituality. We incorporate a little bit of exercise because physical motion assists our energy vibration within us. It helps clear our mind. It helps get out the cobwebs. I have developed a simple stretch that helps us open us up just a little bit to assist in the smooth performance and function of that root chakra, of the next chakra, of the next chakra. Because the successful functioning of our chakra system in its entirety is absolutely dependent upon the previous chakra's ability to function smoothly. That's why we focus one day at a time, each day on a different chakra for a total of 7 days. And we just repeat and repeat and repeat. And every week we address our full basic chakra system, enabling a release of negative energy, which transmutes into positive energy. So let's keep going. The stretch is always performed every single day of the week, except we do have one day off, to assist us with our energy. And there's always a food component that assists that particular endocrine system that we could pay attention to every day to assist us, as well as crystals to further increase the energetic value that we're producing. Okay, so on Mondays, proteins, specifically meats, are important to ingest. That will assist the ovaries and the testes and assist that chakra into beginning to function more correctly. See, when we're out of balance on any one of our chakras, we're either way overboard from what the chakra wants, or we're a lack of performance within that chakra. Okay, so we're looking for balance. We're not looking to go crazy on our chakra or close our chakra down. We're looking to bring a balanced rhythm to each chakra, okay? And by stretching and eating proteins, specifically meats, concentrating on who we are according to the Most High Creator, and allowing ourselves just to feel who we are and allow the Most High Creator to show us who we are stabilizing and supporting that foundation of our root chakra, energetically and spiritually. Okay. Then we move into Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we focus on the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is, from a spiritual perspective, from the new understanding about who we are from our root chakra, we then get to act like children, quite frankly, and rediscover or reaffirm the things that bring you the most and ultimate joy and happiness in your life. It's very, very, very important step right here that we identify what that is. Without a focal point, our foundation really is working with nothing. Our foundation is created at the root chakra level to give the sustenance and value to our joy, so that we may build upon that joy and express our joy. Okay? So we don't want to skip over this part of finding out what gives us the most joy now. You know, there's an exercise that you could do at this level and say, okay, what brings me the most peace, joy, and happiness? And go do that, whatever it is, for however long you can do it. That's one way. If you do that like one time every day, that's one way to help you find things that maybe you didn't even realize that you enjoyed doing. That impromptu, do it without a thought, the first thing that comes to your mind, go, brings this back into your awareness so that you can identify it as what brings you joy. So that's a fun little thing to do there. Now, we're also working with the adrenals on the inside of our body here, smoothing them, correcting their performance, having them function correctly for us, okay? And on this day, we do the stretch again, but now we incorporate very, very simple balance-based exercises, okay? Because like I said, we're looking for balance here. We're not trying to go too far ahead of ourselves or fall backwards, but we're trying to build that foundation and stabilize and balance that foundation, okay? So we are focusing on the stretch and the balance-based exercises. Now this takes like a total of 10 minutes. It's like no time at all. And then the food for the day is liquids. Drink your water. Drink your drinks. Drink. Water clears the body of negativity. We're an electrical system, right? So like we need to sometimes, because of our world, the news, wars, whatever, things going on in our day-to-day lives, all this negativity builds within us and builds within us, and it's necessary for us to flush it. So although it's important to drink your water every day, on Tuesday's sacral chakra day, dealing with our adrenals, which indicate that flight or fight symptom, let's flush. Let's flush the negativity so we don't have that fight and flight, so that we balance ourselves in our emotions and our decision making without that knee-jerk reaction tendency to react like we always have. Okay. Now, there's something else I can add to these too. Color is also important. So on Monday, when we're working with the root chakra, the color is red because everything has an energetic value. Food, colors, exercise, everything, and even the crystals. So everything that we add on is just a small little thing that we can do to help ourselves will help us even more. So for instance, Monday being the root chakra and being red, you could wear red earrings or a pair of red pants or, an accessory or a red pair of panties, right? Who cares? Wear red. In some, you could, red hair tie, whatever it is, red shoes. That red will attract the energy to assist you in stabilization and in your foundation building. On Tuesday, when we're dealing with the sacral chakra and the adrenals, the color is orange. So again, in any form or fashion, wear it, eat it, drive it, whatever. Bring orange into your life because that will bring that assistance of energy to you. Now, when it comes to the crystals, again, I use 7. Everything with me, I've managed to get down to a very, very simplistic method. There's crystals: black obsidian, red jasper, and tiger's eye. These 3 crystals assist us with our first 3 chakras. So rather than have one for each, I carry all 3 for the first 3 chakras, okay? So the root and the sacral chakra, we've gone over. And then on Wednesday, we do the solar plexus chakra, which is here. This is root, sacral is right around the belly button. Then you move into your solar plexus, which is what it is, right there in between your rib cage. Okay, the color is yellow. It's about becoming more authentic. From a spiritual perspective, this is where we take what we learned in the root chakra, who we are according to the Most High Creator, and what we learned in the sacral chakra, what brings us ultimate joy, and we onboard that within ourselves and become more authentic to our smallish group of surrounding us, meaning your close friends, your family, your business acquaintances. This is where you begin to act this new person that you found, this new freedom, this new joy, this new love, this new experience of life. By the time you get to the solar plexus chakra, you feel like a kid again. It's like recreating life all over again, fine-tuning what you already have. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful and exciting. This whole entire process is beautiful and exciting because every step that you take every day, you're raising your energetic vibration. You're raising your energetic vibration further and further up your chakra system, which is causing positive cyclical effects as energy returns to itself in the fashion that it was sent out. So as you're working in this positive mindset day by day, you're increasing the energetic value of your personal energy vibration, sending it out like a boomerang. And then you get that goodness coming back to you. This is a very exciting concept, and it's a very exciting journey, not to be feared, but to be celebrated as the opportunity to become a better you. Okay. Now, on Wednesday, the solar plexus has to do with the pancreas. And for exercise, we do the stretch and balance every day. And then we add the walk, a short walk, whatever you can do. If you could do around your block one time, or up and down your street, or around your yard just one time, that's enough. But do it as you can. So if you could do 5 miles, do the 5. You know, this is completely up to your own capabilities. And this is a joyful walk, not an energetic walk. There's a difference. You may feel more energetic from day to day, and put that in there. But the point and the purpose is to get your blood pumping. You've stretched, you've balanced. So far, you're only maybe 10 minutes in. Take yourself a walk to whatever capacity you feel like for that day. No pressure. Okay. And the foods that we want to pay attention to today are complex carbs, starches. And that's great because you just integrated a little bit of walking in, which will help not only that chakra start to function better, but it's going to help your pancreas function better. It's going to bring up your energetic vibration, start transmuting, any negative energies that you have within you, and letting them go and turning these into positive. And it's the actionable part of the stretch, balance, exercise that assists that, combined with the color yellow as a little, up, and combined with the 3 black obsidian, red jasper, and tiger's eye. Now for these, I stuff them in my pocket. I'll put them in my pocketbook. I even sleep with them by my head. I sleep with all of them together by my head. Just any little bit, whatever it takes. All right, now let's go over here. This is Thursday, and on Thursday, we concentrate on the heart chakra. The color is green. It's about love and compassion. It assists your thymus. The exercise that we do is the stretch, balance, and walk, but then we add in dancing. Turn on your music and dance a dance. It doesn't matter for how long or what kind. Nobody's looking. But every day, what we add on assists you in increasing that energetic vibration. And we're looking to be vibing. So every day we add a little more. Not too much, only as much as you can handle. The point of doing it and getting that blood pumping is what it's all about. Okay? Now the love and compassion portion is a spiritual thing. Let's talk right here. These first 3 chakras that I just talked about with you, root, sacral, and solar plexus, each one must operate correctly in order for the next one to operate correctly. The root must work correctly for the sacral to work correctly. The sacral must work correctly in order for the solar plexus to work correctly. And the solar plexus must work correctly in order for the heart to work correctly. Now, as you've been through the root chakra, remembering who you are according to the Most High Creator, into the sacral chakra, rediscovering the joy of life for yourself, and then into the solar plexus chakra, where you began to live this new found person of yourself in the most authentic way possible. The smooth performance of these 3 chakras and your acceptance of the spiritual portion of it not only is raising your energetic vibration, but it's causing the wisdom and understanding of from a spiritual perspective to then grow within you. And by the time we reach the heart chakra, this is when you begin to understand that all of life's experiences have been in education. This is the place where we begin to understand and be able to look at painful things that we've experienced in our past and bring closure to them, because our new understanding, which is the truth of the Most High Creator, enables us to look at our previous pains for what they really were and gain the newfound wisdom from those experiences, so that you may then have the answers you sought and to close that out and let it go. This is a very painless way of releasing pent-up emotions and blockages by working through your electrical system and applying spiritual knowledge, gaining in wisdom, increasing your personal energetic vibration, so that when we arrive in the heart chakra, we now know that our life experiences were meant for our education. And we have the ability to understand that everyone else is having that exact same experience, but in a different way that was tailor-made for them. Suddenly that brings a different level of understanding to humanity and relationships of all kinds. It brings us to this place of understanding where we're actually working all together even when there's conflict, because we are learning together. And as long as we are learning and onboarding that education, we're creating the flow cycle necessary to stop these hard cyclings. But the work, the most important part, is our foundation. Establishing the correct foundation for ourselves, growing from that within ourselves, so then at the time that we arrive in that heart chakra, we have come to accept and love ourselves to such a degree that we automatically, without effort, have this understanding for others. And this opens up everything. It increases communication. It creates balance. It generates positivity and love and acceptance of one another. And this is a beautiful method to embrace as you start your week, right? And not only that, but you're helping your internals. Okay, it's the third major system in our body that a lot of people have not yet identified as being in existence. Without it, our whole body does not function correctly. We get sick, we have depression, we have confusion, we have chaos. But when we add in this the understanding about how our personal energy vibration is attached to our emotions, which is guided by spirituality at its finest, we have the capability of understanding and applying the principles of it to our lives to throw better boomerangs. That's what this is about. Okay, then, and our crystal for Thursday is green aventurine. I use one for the heart chakra. A lot of times, depending on where I'm at, like if I'm going through Ish, I'll take the obsidian and the green aventurine. But if I'm good and I'm high vibing and feeling good and I want to project that further, I'll combine it with a clear quartz. But anyway, you can carry it solo. And like I said, I'm keeping it very, very, very simple. There's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of crystals. Upon all of those that I researched, these particular crystals have the highest level of value to this particular process. Okay. And the color is green. Wear it, eat it, there. And for food, we're supposed to be focusing on vegetables today. And as we continue to work together, you're going to see the commonality emerge greater and greater and greater as we go along, because we're really developing the food pyramid here, if you haven't noticed. Okay. So on Friday, then we move into the throat chakra. And the throat chakra has to do with your thyroid, and the smooth performance and functioning of your thyroid and parathyroid. It's from a spiritual perspective, it's about communication. Our exercise is the stretching, balance based exercise, walk, and today we sing. Yesterday we danced, today we sing. Because the throat chakra is all about communication, right? By the time that we have arrived at the throat chakra and we have smooth performing chakras of the root, sacral, solar plexus, and heart, we are so involved in truth and seeing truth. We then begin to broadcast ourselves outside our smallish group, outside just our close friends, outside our family, outside our close relationships. This is where we become more of who we are to the outside world based on your new information about self and others, which is truth. Expressing oneself in truth is another level up on your energetic vibration. This is actually broadcasting really good stuff. Truth. And truth, and that energetic value of truth, is communicated in multiple ways, not only verbally, but through the actions, behaviors, habits, thinking. Your energy precedes itself. Your energy will begin to precede itself. It's like when you walk into a room, people are going to see truth in you without you having to open your mouth, because your energy becomes so strong at this level. It can't help but precede you. And people do sense that increased energetic vibration. Now, I want to point something out at this very point right here. Once upon a day, even I, as a previous business consultant, would teach people how to not deal with their emotions and fears, but how to cope with their emotions and fears in order to become successful. That's the way it was done across the board, and a lot of outlets are still teaching that manner. However, as we venture into the new era of spirituality that requires authenticity, the only way to attain that is with the acknowledgement of the other piece of self. That spiritually led energy system. Without paying attention to our root, sacral, solar plexus, and heart chakras, and immediately jumping into the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, you don't even have any of the power that you seek to attain through the course of any growth or this lesson. Because without the proper understanding and wisdom that you derive from these lower level chakras is what gives you the stability of truth and understanding and wisdom of truth, which enables you to manifest at such a high capacity that your energetic vibration precedes you. It's amazing. But a lot of people are so afraid of this part that they just want to do that part, and they shortchange themselves, essentially keeping themselves stuck in hard cycling because they've never addressed their emotions in a healthy way. Okay? They never achieve this and that great feeling of balanced emotion and love that you feel in your life from attaining a clear, balanced heart chakra, right? So the third chakra is so important because this is where we become one. This is where we begin really communicating truth. And the more truth we speak outwardly, the more truth is accepted. Right now, we live in a paradox. Truth is suppressed and illusion is believed. But the more of us who arrive at the throat chakra and have it clear and fully functioning because the others before it are also clear and fully functioning. When we begin broadcasting truth, then more and more and more people will begin to also broadcast truth. Now, that's what really begins to change and balance and correct any of the issues that we experience as a society, as a humanity. This is where the beneficial fine-tuning and creation of new begins to affect us on a more global way. Okay. The color is blue, and the food is fruit, and the crystal is lapis lazuli. Then on Saturday, we move into the third eye chakra. It is about our intuition, of course. It has to do with our pituitary gland. And it's actually a day off from any kind of exercise or any kind of foods. So it's kind of a free-for-all, enjoy your Saturday. Okay. Now, with the third eye chakra, I consider this one a little bit different than a lot of other people. I feel that by the time that we arrive in our third eye chakra, we have grown so accustomed to living truth that our intuition becomes even stronger. And by intuition, I mean when we're in meditation or prayer and that feeling that comes over us of knowing, or, a little, don't forget your keys, don't forget to turn off the coffee maker kind of thing. All these little signs and signals and synchronicities that are around you start becoming even more pronounced in your life. Actually, then you don't even think about it anymore. Okay, I see a bird, there's a feather, there's a rainbow. I see that on the magazine rack. I heard that in a conversation. All of these different little things, everything around you is always conspiring for your highest benefit around us. But we have tuned it out. But by the time that we have arrived in the third eye chakra, we have become very much aware of the heavenly assistance that we have around us at all times. Angels, ancestors, God himself setting up our surroundings so that we can achieve the most joy and happiness possible. Okay? So this is where we're kind of backfeeding into the previous chakras and solidifying and giving them even more power and strength, because not only are you operating in faith, not only are you receiving the validation as you go along, but now you're getting this intuitive edge that's just giving even a greater level of validation to your path and your journey. Opening up your mind to a greater capacity, a higher level of understanding even as it pertains to you and the world. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. The color for Saturday is purple, and the crystal is an amethyst. Okay. And then Sunday's the last day of the week. Sunday's about our crown chakra. The color is white. I'm sorry, today's a fasting day. You could do on and off fasting. Do it however you like. There's many different methods to fasting, and they're all beneficial. So again, nothing should be anything that brings you stress, either physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. So if you're hungry, eat. But just do a different kind of fast. You know what I mean? It's also, from a spiritual perspective, it's about integration, and it's about your pineal gland, which is, spiritual connectedness. All right. So let's talk about integration. All right. Now, I spoke about how with your throat chakra you begin broadcasting truth. And then with your third eye, your increased understanding, wisdom, guidance comes on board. Well, now you're very, very powerful. You have become a very powerful manifester. And as we cycle through the 7 chakras week after week, you'll find that each chakra has a different level of learning. And you just grow. This is how you grow and grow and grow on a continuous basis. It's a gift that keeps on giving. And when we have successfully arrived at the crown chakra and have smooth performance of our crown chakra, our personal energy vibration is so high that it's creating without any effort at all. Believe me when I tell you it's true. You're expressing and beginning the creation in your actionable in your throat chakra. In the third eye chakra, you gain the validation that you need in order to know that your thoughts affect your world. And you begin to utilize them in that fashion. You speak what you would like to have. You think and feel the life experiences you would like to have. In whatever capacity, personal, business, doesn't matter. And these things manifest for you. Because by the time you've reached the crown chakra, you no longer rely on just yourself. But you do so as part of you, as part of your behavior. You automatically, inherently are guided to just allow and be and follow the signs and synchronicities of what brings you the greatest level of joy. And it will become manifest in your world. That's what's happening by the time you reach that crown chakra. Now, anybody that has tried to achieve that, they can't unless they've done the work of the first 4 chakras. This is the little piece that makes it difficult for everyone because they're afraid. All right? Don't be afraid. Now, the crown chakra's crystal is clear quartz and the color is white. So this is what we focus on every day for the purpose of establishing flow cycles. Now, I want to introduce you to something else because our thinking will change. And if we understand how our thinking is beginning to change, we can assist our thinking in a more positive fashion, increasing the energetic value within ourselves and within our boomerangs, okay? And this is a comparative analysis of thought, all right? So I call this the energy wheel. On one side, you have 1 through 10 sideways, and on the other side, you have 1 through 10 upright. It also has a color associated to it, each level, which is indicative to the chakra, okay? So this is also a cycle, which also has the same color reference, okay? In the beginning of a cycle, when we're at number 1 of a flow cycle rather than a hard stop cycle, okay? I'm talking about what it is that we're attempting to achieve. This is our goal, right? At number 1, as we enter into the new cycle, this is where we're bringing our wisdom forward, beginning that application of increased wisdom as we enter our new cycle, okay? Now, when we're at this position, we have choice. We have choice to root our thinking process with this foundation, or we have a choice to root it in the foundation that already exists, which is largely based on negative systems and processes that we use to live our day-to-day life. Okay? If we choose to think of only just ourselves and not be seeking to establish love in our lives, we start moving on this side of the wheel. But when we choose to base our decisions on the idea of spirituality and how it affects us energetically, we remain in upright position. Here, we start off negatively, so everything else along the line is going to have a low energetic impact and a low energetic effect on our lives because our boomerangs are of low quality, if you will. Okay? But when we start making decisions based in love and spirituality and understanding who you are and how that affects your energetic system, we are increasing our energetic vibration with every step through the cycle. Okay? So number 2, when we reach number 2, what usually happens there is now we've come into the cycle, right? We're coming into the cycle with the wisdom from the previous cycle if we've learned our education. All right? When we hit 2, usually some kind of life event's going on. Personally, globally, something that affects us emotionally in some form or fashion usually happens. That grasps your attention. Because God does that, you know. Bang. All right, here's a new thing to deal with. It could be positive or it could be negative based on what we need to learn, right? Either way, it's an energetic vibration of emotion that presents itself as a life event of some sort. To say, okay, here's your choice. You got all that wisdom. How are you going to use it? All right. Then we venture into number 3. And number 3 is the initial opening and the beginning of a new cycle. Number 1 is you're walking in with your wisdom. Number 2 is how you're going to use it. And number 3 is the new cycle. Choice, hard choice. This is definitive choice right here. Which way am I going to go? Am I going to go this way? I'm going to go on this way. Now, there's always time to change the road you're on. If you get to number 3, or number 4, or number 5, and you've realized that it's not turning out for your best interest or it's creating negativity in any way, you could take the slide back to 1 and choose again. This is where humanity is today. Choice. Then once you go from number 3 now so far 1 and 2 are root. This is bringing in the wisdom, right? This is the life event. This is where your foundation, understanding of yourself is very, very important, right? Then 3 moves into your sacral chakra. And this is what gives you the most joy, right? As you're beginning a new cycle, as the new educational experience begins, how do you want to start that off? This again is your decision. Do you want to start that off on a positive foot, or do you want to start that off on a negative foot? Do we want to just focus on the outcome and the benefit for myself, or do I want to do things in such a loving way that it benefits me and others? That's the choice, right? So, and number 3, being the beginning of the cycle, becomes the actionable choice. Number 4 is where we meet some resistance within ourselves. This is challenges, positive or negative. We meet resistance. It's the introduction of a new education and the resistance to learn it because we're so accustomed to what we already knew. It's a resistance period, and it's still within your sacral chakra, which means that the way through the resistance is to acknowledge what brings you the greatest amount of joy. Okay? Now, when we get into 5, 5 is what I call the washing machine cycle of life. This is when we teeter-totter. This is when we take the wrong road. This is when we make the bad decision. That's when we have the wrong conversation. That's when we feel guilt, or we feel sadness, or we feel any kind of chaos, okay? And we get stuck because we have not fully let go of that resistance. We're maintaining a level of resistance that's causing us to get stuck in this cycle. Consequently, when we don't allow ourselves to move through the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and become authentic with ourselves, we do get stuck in this washing machine cycle right here. And guess what? You never get out of it. That situation may end. But when you come over here with 1, you didn't learn anything. You didn't onboard any wisdom. So you're essentially like doing it again, exactly how you did it before, even if the situation and the people are different. At the end of the day, you didn't learn anything. You just did it again. So what are you creating for yourself again and again and again, right? Number 6 is where we start to say, okay, let me get some research. Let me understand this a little better. Let me onboard this for myself. Let me take this in. This is a mental, emotional kind of thing, all right? This is where I am, stuck in the washing machine cycle of life. That's where I want to go. What's in here? Let me take a look at this. You're looking at yourself. You're looking at external resources to understand yourself better. And you're searching for your authenticity because you're still within the solar plexus. Then we arrive at 7, which, from an energetic perspective, this is where you begin building the foundation of what you've just learned after your resistance and finally allowing yourself to get it, right? That's where you begin your foundation building. And it's the heart chakra, which is indicative of building that foundation from a perspective of love and understanding, compassion for yourself and others, which is what we do on Thursday. Okay. And now, I want to keep reminding you here, by the time you get to 7 here, your world can start turning upside down because now you're building. Now you've gone from the 6 of thinking and you're making it actionable. Are you going to do it with something other than love? That's how I can say it, because it could be a myriad of other things. Or are you going to do it with love? Right? So within this area, this is where we seek to achieve the validation of ourselves and be guided enough by our heart chakra to be able to establish our foundations correctly in love. And because we're wise, from our number 1 coming into the number 1, this 10 over here, and we have successfully completed our love cycle there, that gives us greater ability each time to foundation build in love every time. All right, then we move into number 8. Now, number 8 is action. All right, we went, 6 is thinking about it. 7 is building the foundation for it. 8 is the actionable part of making it happen. It's also an infinity symbol. If you have established your foundation correctly in love, infinity, everything we do here if we do this correctly, if we're working on this side of the wheel rather than this side of the wheel, has longevity and sustainability. It's an infinity symbol that signifies God, the Most High Creator. It's through this path, by arriving at this 8, are we working in his benefit rather than stopping at the 5, right? 9 is where this is the end of the cycle. This is the part where we're living what we just created. This whole process created something. This is where we live it. This is where we get it. This is where we onboard. This is where we contemplate where we've been and how we got there, and arrive at an educational value and increased wisdom for ourselves. And the 10 is where, after all that contemplation and understanding and onboarding of the wisdom, you now have another level of purity of truth within you, which is the wisdom. And it enables you to become more spiritually connected and become selfishly unselfish, which means that you know that by honoring yourself in this cycle, that you will pass through this cycle with the wisdom and the grace you needed to improve your own self, because only by being the best you can you be good for anyone else. Selfish selflessness. It means I am selfish for me first, to my own self-care, to what is important in my foundational understanding about myself, and work from that place that enables me to be selfless to others. It's a beautiful, beautiful method of overcoming emotions and achieving anything you want in your life, quite literally. What else do I have to talk to you about? Okay, let's talk about the moon cycles just a little bit, because we have something coming up that's relevant. Let me move this over I can move it without breaking it. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's talk about moon cycles, because without getting real deep into astrology, because so far we've addressed our endocrine system from a medical perspective, a little bit, health and fitness from a physical, exercise and what you eat and drink perspective, to your spirituality by understanding the concept of what the Most High Creator created us to be, and into our personal energetic vibration in the chakra system. We've introduced color, and we've introduced crystals to assist bringing up that energetic value within ourselves. However, there's another area of astrology that's very complex and very involved, and I have not fully delved into that. I don't feel that I need to fully delve into that, because by paying too much attention to astrology, you kind of over contemplate things that should be simple by tearing them apart. And for the purpose of this particular course, simplicity is key, right? So we don't get into all of that. However, I have noticed that there is energetic value of the moon cycling. I have found that there is increased energy that's in our environments that absolutely affects the energetic vibration of our person, even on top of this. So to be mindful of it is all that's needed, and to understand where it's coming from and how it may affect you. And we could break it down to numerical reference as well, gematria, that enables us to understand where in this cycle it's referencing for our benefit. Okay, so I just did March, April, and May. Okay, so in March on the 10th we had a new moon, and on the 25th we have a full moon. Now, breaking those down in to a numerical value too, Let's talk about that for a second. Because that's how I assign the energetic value to the moon, the new moon or the full moon. If you take the date, let me do one right here. Today's what, the 20th? All right, so today is 3/20/2024, right? What you do is add all these numbers together. So this is 8, 10, 13, right? 13. Now you're going for a single digit. So then you do 1 plus 3 equals a 4, right? Now 4 is all about our resistance, all right? So on this day, we're a 4, and there's an overall feeling of resistance within us. Now, in the moon phases, where the energetic value is increased, that's when we pay attention to what it's indicating to us as something that we need to pay attention to. So, coming up on the 25th, the full moon is a 9. But the new moon that was on the 10th was a 3. All right, now the 3 was indicative of the beginning of a new cycle, right? The number 3 is the initial opening and the beginning of the cycle, and we get to choose which side of the wheel that we go on here. On the 25th, on our full moon, we have a 9, which is the end of the cycle, and we're essentially graduating from our learning experience. So if you look at it from a calendar perspective, we have the opportunity between the new moon and the full moon to consider some things in our lives so that when we arrive at the 9 and are living what it is that we've chosen, we're in sync with the energy assisting us to make our decisions. Okay. Then on April 8th, we have a new moon and a solar eclipse simultaneously, which means that it is going to be unbelievably powerful, okay, with its energetic value. And it's a 2. And 2 means a life event is going to happen. Now, positive or negative, right? It should be something that makes you look. What's going on? Where am I at? I got all this wisdom behind me from the cycle I just came out of. I got my 1 strapped on my back. Here I come with a new life event, number 2. And that's happening on the new moon and the solar eclipse on April 8th. Then on April 23rd, we have another full moon, which is 8. 8. Active application. So what's going to happen here between the 8th and the 23rd, this life event is going to cause us to question things. It's going to cause us to look within ourselves, reevaluate our position, and make the determination of which side of the wheel we're going to be on. Right? Because it's a 9, where we begin living what it is that we've chosen. Very important time. Will we choose the 7? This is our mission, to be in alignment so that we choose love as our foundation. So by the time that full moon hits on April 23rd, we're living love rather than chaos. You with me? Okay. And then on May 8th, we have another new moon, and it's a 3. And 3 is the beginning of a new cycle. How appropriate. And on the 23rd of May, we have a full moon, which is a 9. Okay? So we've got back-to-back cycles hitting us right now. Are we going to make it a flow cycle and start off this new era of spirituality on a good foot? On a foot based on spirituality, based on understanding how our energies and our thoughts are affecting the outcome of our world and establish our future in love? Or will we choose this side of the wheel? perhaps it's an indication that we're going to mess it up first and begin again. That's a very high probability, because 2 is a life event, and that's happening on a solar eclipse. And then and at the beginning of a new cycle as well. Only for a month later for a new cycle to begin again. Be mindful, my friends. Choose wisely. And I also want to talk about Mercury retrograde. Sorry for my back to you. I have to look at my wall. Mercury retrograde traditionally has a negative energetic influence, okay? And I think everybody's like, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. You know, you understand what it is. So let's look at it for what it is, all right? The actual hard hit of Mercury retrograde in its full station happens on April 1st, all right? Which is a number 4. A number 4. 4 meaning resistance, okay? Mercury retrograde, resistance, makes sense, right? It spans, the influences of Mercury retrograde, just like the new moon and the full moon also, I should have mentioned. You can feel because energy just doesn't pop in and then pop out. When you're talking about the moon and Mercury retrograde and astrologically, there's a progression of movement that happens that progresses the energetic value and then decreases it. So, you know, you'll feel it building up until its actual hardcore station arrival, and then you'll feel it releasing as it's finally moves out of, influence, if you will. So that influence ran from the 18th, 2 days ago, March, to May 13th, okay? Now, yesterday, or 2 days ago, that was a number 2. 318 was a number 2. 2 is life event. We've been having an awful lot of life events going on, have we not? Okay, so now we're building up to the 1st, all right, where it's really going to hit, and that's 4, okay, and we're resisting change. We're resisting what's going on, okay? And then, we're here. Today is the 20th, so we're going to get the full moon, which is a completion of a cycle. All right, we're going to blow out we're resisting right now, right? And we're going to come on the 8th, which is a 2. That puts us back into another life event. And then we're still going on to May 13th. So we have May 8th, a new moon, which is 3. And a 3 is a beginning. So we got all of this start, stop, make a choice. Which way are we going to go? We're going to go in love. We're going to continue in chaos. That's what's happening right now with the energetic influences going on with us. So when we're not paying attention to this stuff that I've just, explained to you, this stuff's hitting us willy-nilly. And we're not paying attention to it. It's affecting our energetic bodies, which is backflowing into our emotions and causing disruptive events and behaviors and actions and words. But when you work through this process and you allow yourself to be aware of these influences, this foundation that you've built for yourself keeps you even, keeled, and balanced, regardless of what's going on around you. And it enables you to find joy through the chaos, love through the pain, stability through the disruption. It enables you to keep going in joy and love without hindrance. I think that's all I have to show you for today. And I would really, really appreciate reading your feedback. I would appreciate a like, a follow, a share, a subscribe, because I'm looking for my soul tribe. I'm looking for the people who believe, like I believe, that it is absolutely possible. Actually, it's more than possible. It's absolutely inevitable that we eventually learn this and succeed in the new era of spirituality. I'm looking for the soul tribe people that are connected with me that want to start now. want to start now. As leaders, as influencers, as teachers, as educators, anybody that has any influence, parents, anybody that has any influence on others, it's time for us to step up. Because we're also Pluto in Aquarius, which essentially means responsibility. Spiritual, self, responsibility. And by our becoming responsible and utilizing our position in life to learn and grow and work together, we become the catalyst and the foundation of assistance to all of those who are looking for the path to the new era of spirituality. And I want to work with you so that together we can achieve what it is that I speak of. That's all I have for now. I love you. I'll see you again real soon.